Hi and welcome to this ARIES inspired reading for August 2025. This is a timeless reading in reality. You can use this at any point you feel called to watch this. But yes, we are looking at a situation with the help of the cards. I am working with the system of the tarot and the symbolism of Western astrology to look deeper into a situation, maybe gain some insight, maybe gain a new perspective. I am not your fortune teller. I am merely working with the cards as a creative tool for self-reflection. So let's see, there is already a jumper that wants to come out into the deeper past or something that is still stored within us. It's kind of hidden. Oh, okay, all right. Eight of Swords, that makes a lot of sense that it's happening here in the past. Maybe we are finally realizing what patterns in our minds are holding us back. This is the Eight of Swords. The swords are all about the minds. And here we are kind of trapped in a circle of our own thoughts, or a labyrinth, if that's an English word, I hope. And yeah, it's maybe now getting clearer and clearer that we are actually able to free ourselves out of this situation, out of a mental prison or out of a pattern of thinking that is really holding us back and that is really making us a little blind to what's actually going on around us. As you can see in this card, she has a blindfold on and she could easily step out of this situation, but she's not seeing the way out in a way. So interesting how we start this reading. The weight is falling out and wanted to be hidden. I feel like we're now having a realization that we can finally let go of some belief system or some pattern of mind that is holding us back. The Hermit in the reverse. All right, in the center of the reading. The main situation with the Hermit in the reverse, we have different angles to look at this card. We can either be in a situation where we're having a hard time being by ourselves or finding our wisdom within or finding our way within and our own authentic path. At the same time, we can also maybe find answers outside and not within. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, that we're a little bit unsure what our path is supposed to be. Maybe we want to explore the outside. Maybe we want to bring the outside world in a little more, socialize a little more to find answers for these next steps that we want to take. Because it seems like we've lost a little bit of our own direction, of our own light. The Death card in the reverse, two major arcana. Death card in the reverse is falling here to the subconscious position. Let's see what else wants to come out. Two of Swords. That's a little bit of a complex reading, I have to say. Temperance in the reverse. Yeah, it's sort of unbalanced. And the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I'm going to stop here for now, because we really have to maybe think a little deeper of what needs to end within us, and also maybe dig a little deeper, because in our higher consciousness we can sense with the Temperance card in the reverse that there might be a strong imbalance. So I think our higher self is really telling us like, wow, I'm really out of balance. There's something going on that brings me that brings up a lot of emotions that are a little bit difficult to handle. That's also the Temperance card in the reverse, and I kind of don't find the right solution for the moment, or the right mix, or the right balance on how to move forward in a more evened out way within myself. So things might feel a little extreme right now. Things might also feel a little bit out of control right now with the Wheel of Fortune here crossing this Hermit, because the Wheel of Fortune can really also give us this moment of realizing that we don't really have so much control over the situation as we speak. So the Wheel of Fortune, especially when it's not upright and when it's not in the reverse, it can very well be a karmic moment coming in that is trying to show us a way, but we somehow still at the same time have to be part of the solution. And the Temperance card for me is often also about solutions, the right solution, the right mix to a situation, you know, the right recipe on how to move forward. And it seems like we are not finding this just the right recipe on how to handle our path right now, or our situation. But I think still we're having a lot of mental balance at the same time. Maybe mentally we're quite strong here with the Two of Swords and quite okay with all these opposing thoughts maybe, or opposing realities, or opposing information and knowledge. And we find we found a place of peace in our mind. The Two of Swords is a card of peace in our mind, where it's really the challenge to look within. And as soon as we come to this peaceful place in our mind, often things come up, you know, often deeper things come up, often more intense things come up, and often more profound things come up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana right now. And sometimes we have to get to this peaceful state of mind that we are even capable of being able to process what's actually going on a little bit deeper within. So, wow, okay. Seems like a intense moment here. Let's see how we can move forward with this. The Wheel of Fortune is still a card of growth, of luck, also of expansion, of course. And it is also somewhat of a portal into a next chapter in our life. And it is an important moment. It's a key moment also. So let's see where this leads us, or where this could lead us. The Hierophant, another major arcana card, very, very strong reading here. With the Hierophant, this is a very good thing, because we are now understanding that we might have to establish a spiritual practice for ourselves and really practice what we preach. We might even bring in teachers that can teach us spiritual knowledge, or we want to learn more about spirituality, religion, things that are connected to a divine reality. Because, yeah, with the Hermit in the reverse, we might have a little bit of a hard time, as I said, finding the wisdom within, finding this our own spiritual path within. And with this Hierophant, we are going back to basics, in a sense that we are going back to maybe a traditional way of doing things that's always worked for us. So maybe we found out or we walked some new way, and it got us a little off balance, and I don't even want to say off track, but we might be in a situation where we are really coming back to basics and doing the things that we actually believe in and that we actually know that work also, because the Hierophant is also speaking about a system, an established system when it comes to the spiritual world and the connection to the divine. He is also, of course, the Pope in other decks. So he is the keeper of knowledge. He is also the keeper of a system, and he has some very traditional tricks also up his sleeve that he is teaching here to these two people in front of the card that have worked for humanity for a long time. So you might find back to your own little practice, or even bring in, spiritual teachers, gurus. I want to be careful with the word gurus, because of course that can be a very dangerous thing. But right now we can really accept also information and knowledge and practical knowledge also from other people surrounding us maybe. And this could be also mentorship or spiritual mentorship, even in your job. Maybe you're working a job where it's really important to believe in what you do, and you go to different teachers, to different mentors, to different people who really know a lot about what they're doing, and who have been part of doing a thing that just works, in a traditional way. All right. Interesting. So how do we see ourselves in this situation? 10 of Cups in the reverse. Okay. With the 10 of Cups in the reverse, this could also indicate relationships, close relationships surrounding us, and our realization that it's not forming in a way and it's not feeling the way that we actually want to feel when we share with our closest people. So the 10 of Cups upright would be this card where we really are freely and openly and happily sharing this very beautiful emotional richness and satiety. I think that's the word for it. But when it's in the reverse, we might have a feeling of something is missing, you know, something is missing in our close relationships, something is missing, or it's hard to live it in a way that I imagine it and that I want to feel about it. And we might be at a place where it just seems not right when it comes to our closest people surrounding us. And when it comes to also our emotional experience in general, there's something missing. With the 10 of Cups in the reverse, there's just something missing that we can share. We might also feel like we don't have the balance right now, or we're not in this emotionally abundant place right now to be able to share as much as we want to. Could also be the case. So let's see what's the outside influences, external influences. Oh wow, the Emperor, another major arcana card. And that is quite fascinating, because the Emperor is an Aries card, as you can see. And you might be dealing with a mirroring energy right now. You might be dealing with maybe people who stand very much in their authority, have very clear boundaries, really know how to create their environment and take care of their environment. And it might be very worldly people. And right now you might be in a more spiritual moment, where for you it's actually not so important right now that your everyday and everything you have to do and everything you have to, you know, check off your to-do list is done. For you, it might be more important to really step into a more fulfilling moment with yourself when it comes to your experiences and your emotions, and therefore create a system, because the Emperor and the Hierophant actually do work together. You know, they're both the top of the hierarchy in let's say Western state system. So one is like the top of the hierarchy of the state, and the other one is the top of the hierarchy of religion, or the connection to the divine, and this is the connection to the earthly world. So this is a very strong pairing also, and in relationships or in situations where you have to deal with people on the outside, you might just find yourself being the person who brings the more spiritual knowledge to a situation, as this other person or other people might bring more of a organizational talent or system or leadership character when it comes to just taking care of mundane everyday things and having a good overview of a situation. You might also be dealing with a boss who sees, I think, where you're at and is very also reliant on that knowledge, because in reality those two have always been a pair that need each other as well. You know, even though they are kind of not connected anymore, the church and the state in history is kind of not interconnected anymore, but it's still two top of the hierarchy type of people making decisions for a lot of people that are involved. So yeah, wow. All right, what are the fears? The Tower. I mean, the Tower is always, of course, some type of fear that we have to deal with, that things might just break down, or everything we've built up for ourselves is not working anymore, especially on an intellectual level. The Tower is really only breaking off the top of the tower, only the very top, the crown, something that we've built too high. So we actually want to sometimes invite a tower moment, even though this is not what needs to happen here necessarily. It's just in the fear position, because sometimes we just have these high ideals that cannot be obtained in the long term. May it be spiritual, may it be on an everyday type of basis where we really push ourselves to be very straight and strict with ourselves and the environment. It is okay to not always stay completely on track. I feel like that's what's coming through here. And it's part even of the track that we sometimes get off of it. And now we have an Empress here as a key card. Yes. Wow. We have an Empress, an Emperor, and the Hierophant. So we have the whole court here. We have a whole government here. Yeah, it is about governing your own path by allowing all these different facets of what you need to actually build your own system, be part of it. And the Empress is the one who is not necessarily running after all the things that need to be done and managed. She's more creating from the inner out, and she's working with what she is also receiving. So she's very receptive and open energy, at the same time very comfortable and very kind. She's also governing through kindness, and she's also very much in touch with the circles of nature and the cycles of nature, and she knows how to grow things organically and not to force things. When the Emperor and the Hierophant, this is interesting, I just put the cards in different places intuitively on accident. So these roles from what's coming from the outside and what you actually embody within yourself might change a little throughout the month. You might get help maybe from people who help you stay on top of your everyday stuff, and you might even, through your very intense spiritual moment, teach people and give away knowledge to people who need exactly that input to also stay connected to a more divine energy. And the Empress is kind of both of that, because she's very connected to divine energies, and at the same time she's very much in control of her environment. So that's very fascinating here. What's on the bottom of the deck? Oh, the Ten of Swords. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, it seems like you're really gaining control, very much so, over this thought pattern that has been hindering our growth. And we know that some way of thinking about things just need to come to an end, so we can step out or open up a more stable path for ourselves and find also the right balanced solution to react to what's happening right now. And it seems like you're gaining the control over it. As I said, this is the Aries card, and there is really, I don't think there is really any reason to fear that something's really breaking down. Because with the Tower as I said, with the Tower and the Emperor, it is not that everything is completely burning down and breaking down. It's more like, what is a stable foundation that can sustain, and what is the test? What is built too high in our ideals that might not be working anymore? And this could be what we are letting go of here with the Ten of Swords. Exactly that type of intellectualized pattern in our mind that might not really help us grow, but keep us restricted and keep organic growth also in life restricted. So yeah, this is a beautiful reading. So many major arcana cards, very, very intense, a lot going on. So thank you so much for being here. Please check out my description box for all the information you need and how you can support this channel. And please subscribe, like, comment, of course. And I hope I'll see you soon and next time. And until then, I hope you have a great summer and August, and take care.